Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay. I hope y'all can hear me okay. Good. This is my new laptop that I'm on, but um I wanted to share with you guys tonight just some tips and some strategies that I've used that have helped me in my posting life and content and sharing and just some things, this may be a refresher to some, but this, is just what I do when it comes to posting and then when it comes to sharing. And at the end of it, I'm going to talk about live videos and some tips that I think that you will benefit from. If you do have a pen and paper, you can write these down. I would recommend that because these things have been talked about, but for me, it's the journey that you're on, the more that you learn, what you enjoy posting, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Because the first thing you want to think about when it comes to sharing and posting is, does batching work for you, or does just posting it on a whim on at any point of the day work? Like some people that may work for, or if you need to sit down for 10 minutes and batch out a few posts, like in your notes section, that may be something, that you want to figure out what works. Batching posts, I do both. So I do batch my posts, and then some days I'm like, you know what? I don't want to copy and paste from my notes section. I have a different message that I want to share. So maybe you're like me. Maybe you do both. But you want to make sure you are posting every single day. And, if you may be in a funk and you're just like, you know what? I'm not feeling it today. Don't do it. Because guess what? This business, you guys, is supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to feel not so much of a job, it's more of like a fulfilling way to connect, to wake up and enjoy something. And you want to figure out, so make sure you practice around a little bit. Is batching work, or does just winging it every day at different times work for you? I like to make sure I'm posting between 9 in the morning and 12, 9 and 1. Anytime later than that, some days I like to put up a later post. I do my best not to overthink it. So please don't overthink the time when you're posting. It needs to be at a certain time, but I've done some research, and I've learned between 9 and 12 is the best times, just from the algorithm that I've learned. But some people honestly can't ever figure out the algorithm. So it's literally just what works for you. Seriously. So do not post just to be posting. I want you guys to, when you think about posting, it has to have meaning and it has to have purpose. Okay. Meaning and purpose to your posts. And what that means is when you're posting with purpose, are you posting just to post, or are you posting to connect and tell a story? Are you sharing the heart of your why, the heart of why you're still with Thrive? Are you sharing an experience that you had went through, or just something that's on your heart, a message to one person that's watching your story? Because when we think about our audience, it can be overwhelming. And that's when we don't want to post, because it's like, oh, what will people think? Just think about one person you're talking to, that one individual that needs this opportunity or needs these products or just needs you. They need that message of hope. So think about that one person. And are you passionate? Because when we post, we're not posting to get customers or get promoters. Okay. We don't want to just sit, like, post and then think on the back end of it, oh, someone's going to be interested, right? We get so let down when we place those expectations on ourselves, when we're like, okay, this is a great post. I've got so much I want to share. You put it up and then it's crickets in your inbox, then you're not going to want to post that next day. So I think it's really important that you remove those expectations on your business and yourself and say, okay, this right here is my passion. This right here is what I love to do. So I'm going to share what's on my heart. And if someone's in my inbox, that's wonderful. And if someone's not, that's wonderful too, right? Because that's where you will grow. Your purpose in your post has to be from the heart. It has to be something that is you, something that may be funny, something that may be just you. Why are you posting for that day? What's the purpose of your posts for that day? Did you hear a really good podcast that you just want to share about? Hey, this was a really good message and I want to talk to you about it, Then the meaning behind your post, you guys, is your dialogue. Okay, so when you're talking to someone in person, like just like face to face, not on social media, on the phone or in person, what's your dialogue like? Do you have slang, or do you have an accent? Do you have, what does it sound like to talk to you? That's meaning in your posts, and how do you speak, right? That to me is being authentic. It's showing people that you're human, that you're just being yourself. For me, I say y'all a lot because I'm from Kentucky and y'all is just a thing. So I say that in my posts, and I just let people see that. So also, when you're done posting, are you leaving an impression on your audience, on that one person? Are they thinking in the back of their mind, I want what she has, or that was a really good inspirational message, I'm going to message her and say thank you for that message? Are you leaving that impact, that inspiration on their heart when you're done posting for that day? Because that's how I know I'm making an impact and adding value, when I am leaving that impression, because that's one of my motives that I have to check within myself. Am I posting to get a promoter, or am I posting to touch their heart, to leave that impression on them that there's a different way to create an income, or there's a different way to live your life? There are so many right now people that are struggling. So when they see your message, it's going to resonate with them. It's going to leave that impression. Do they ask themselves a question like, I wonder if I could do what she does, right? And just a couple tips, you guys, when you are doing your post. So this is something that I have had to learn. The first sentence has to be a hook sentence. When they read that first sentence or those first few words, is it going to hook them in? Or are they going to want to keep reading what you're saying? Because to me, I like to make sure it's like a zinger in the top, or a question, maybe, to just like, let me give you an example. Like the other day, I did one with me and Hope, and it was like, let's normalize women empowering other women. Would you want to keep reading that post and hear what I had to say just by that one sentence? So I think that's really important, that you come intentional with what the first sentence says. For me, that's really helped me create that strategy. And when I do batch, or when I do post for the day, and emphasizing on your words is also something that I do. Sometimes I write in caps. Sometimes I use a cool font to emphasize on impact, or the word single mom life, or something that is part of me. I want to emphasize on that part of this post. It's going to stand out. And I think emphasizing and capitalizing some words also brings people in to keep reading. And your call to actions at the end. So the only time I'm doing a call to action is when it's either a product post or a business post. So, sometimes I can get it confused because, there's lifestyle branding notes that I have in my phone that if you guys do not have in your notes section, it's very, very helpful when it comes to posting. I'm not going to go over it tonight because Lindsay's went over it so many times, but the branding part of your posts is really, really important. And you want to know the difference between having a call to action and when just saying at the end of it, like, happy Sunday, because Sundays I'm like, slide in the DMs, like I'm ready. I'm ready to change your life at the end. So slide in the DMs, send me a message, or I want to hear from you. My inbox is open at the end. Or sometimes it's like, happy Thursday. Like I really just wanted to share what I had my hands on. So at the end, I'm just like, happy Thursday, or I hope you have a good day at the end of it. So know the difference in, what you're correlating in when it comes to your business, and then your lifestyle posts and things like that. So know the difference. And if you don't have those notes, I will send them to you. I have them in my notes section. They've been in there for probably a year and a half now. And sometimes I refer back to them. They are in my 14-day guide in my boot camp, or the 14-day guide, not boot camp, that I started. Yeah, Lacey, I will send those. And yeah, Tasia, I will. So they are so, so helpful. like as a 40K, we've been here 2 years, I still go back to those. I still want to make sure like I'm doing the branding. I'm still keeping attraction marketing fresh. So I will go back and say, okay, your lifestyle posts, your specialty posts, and then your informative posts. And then most of mine are lifestyle, but I like to keep that fresh and keep that reminder. And you get to go back and reference in there in your notes. So I will send those to anybody who else would don't want have those. I will send them to you. Saving the long posts for 1 to 2 times out of the week. So if you are a batcher in your content and your posts, I think long posts are wonderful. I think they touch people's hearts. I think that they leave an impact on people. They're amazing. But for me, I've noticed that if I'm posting long posts every single time, I don't get as much interaction or as much exposure. So I really like to make sure I'm switching it up. And sometimes it's a couple, like 4 or 5 sentences, and then I'm breaking down 4 or 5 sentences, and then I'm done. I don't want it to be super long, but I like to keep the long ones at least 1 or 2 times out of the week tops. So that's a strategy that I like to use. And I'll even go back to my page and see when's the last time I had a really long post that was very just heartfelt or just really on fire, and I'm being bold about my story. And I'm like, okay, now it's time to do another one. So breaking them up and making sure they're readable is also another tip that you guys, it's so important to do, because if they are all together and it's not broken up, it can people will just kind of scroll past it. And for me, I've just begun so used to breaking them up now. If that's not your jam, don't do it, but try it out and see the difference in your algorithm or your exposure, and see like it's making a difference. And do you know your testimony? So not product testimony, not business testimony, your specific testimony of your life, where you've been, where you're at, and where you're going. You know your past and what you've experienced and where you were to where you're at now and where you're going. I think that's very, very important to get very honest, very raw, very detailed on, and knowing as yourself. Yes, Thrive and the 3 steps are just such an incredible part of our lives. But you as a woman, as a man, if you're on anything that you've experienced in your life, do you know the pieces of your life that have made you who you are? And sharing that and making sure your audience or they get to see you as the person you are today, kind of painting that picture for them. Because it took me such a long time to get that. I was always talking about my past. And you want to make sure you're also talking about the vision you have, where you're going, where this is going to take you, what your goals are. Do they know what that is? And do they know where you're at now? I think that keeps that human connection there, and it lets people know that you're human and you're not just a robot behind a screen trying to generate sales. Like we're so much more than
going to manage 2 things at once.
Also, that's the last thing. So I'm going to go into some live video tips with you guys. So these are just some tips that I do. So I listen to the nudges on my heart. I think that they are there for a reason. I think if there's a nudge on your heart to go live, or there's something that you want to share with somebody, don't push that away. What's that? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so let me finish, okay? Look, go in there. Mommy be done in just a second. Oh boy. Okay. So, there are times where I've had a nudge on my heart and I'm like, man, this is a good message. There's something I want to share. And then I won't. Then the next day I'll go live and it's completely awful. Okay. Or the next 2 days I'll go live and it is nothing like I thought it was going to be. So if you feel something, feel called to get on your live video, do that, listen to that, because you're going to explode. You're going to just share that inspiration, share that passion, and really wake them up. Let them know, like, tell them, I have a message that I want to share with you today, and this is going to impact you. I say that. I tell people there's a mom on the other side of this screen who needs this. And I don't know exactly what I want to say. I don't have notes, but someone needs this. So I listen to those nudges. That's one tip. And telling your story in 90 seconds or less. Okay, so this is a tip I heard from Paul Gravett that I did not even ever hear before meeting him. And it was being able to tell your testimony in 90 seconds, telling where you've been, where you're at, where you're going pretty much in 3 minutes. Or like 2 minutes, however 90 seconds is. And I just looked at him and I just thought, well, we don't know how this is going to go, because I always take a very long time telling my story. Sometimes my opportunity lives are like 18 minutes and some are like 9. So get into the rhythm of doing those lives. Doesn't have to be an opportunity live, but if you do want to share parts of your story, try to keep it at a minimum as you can, and keep the message on the solution, on what your solution is, what it's been, what's helped you in this journey here with Thrive, what you get to look forward to, what the community's like, or whatever that may be. And talk about the nuggets versus like the good things versus the things that we've been through, because I know I can go off on a tangent with my story. So just kind of 90 seconds or less. I thought that was such a good tip from him. And then your description, guys. So your description wants to be catchy. So Tuesday, I think, this Tuesday I'm going live, and I've already got the description down in my planner of what it's going to be. That's how I plan my week. I know the lives I'm going to do, what the description will be. I know what I'm going hands-free about. I know what I'm sharing testimonials on. I know what plus line products I'm talking about. Like, I just get so into that planning part. And I like to make sure when somebody's scrolling past my live video, they want to click on it. So that catchy caption can be like, single mom on welfare turned successful business owner, or whatever that may be. Former heroin addict to overdose, whatever. Like, I don't know. I'll just say crazy stuff. And it doesn't have to be that crazy, but you have your title and your description to you, to what you want to share about and where you've been and where you're at. And maybe just like something that you want to talk about. And, it does don't overthink it. We do get overthinking it. So just make sure you have a description. And if you're doing it on Instagram, do your hashtags at the end. I know those are also very helpful, or in the comments, however you want to do that for your page. So IGTVs are also very, very huge. There are so many ways we can show our face today, guys, with lives, IGTV, reels, stories, TikTok, so many ways. And you want to make sure you're doing that once a week at least. So you've got your posting down. You've got these good tips now. Like, this is what I have done the whole 2 years I've been with Thrive. I've always made sure that my posts resonate with people. I always make sure that I'm leaving a impression and I'm adding that value to what I'm sharing versus just throwing up a post to post. Some days it's Thrive, sometimes it's non-related Thrive stuff, So just know this is a strategy I've used, and, painting that picture of where you're at and where you're going. So I think that was it. Being relatable, all those things I touched on. Get in your notes section, try to batch out some posts and try that if you haven't. It may take some pressure off of you. For me, I know I do both. So I just do both, but that's what works. So yeah, Courtney, it's easier to the brain and eyes. You mean with the description?
The breaking up the post, like, it was just easier in the eyes when it is broken up and it's not just like a long paragraph, is what I was saying.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and they're more prominent to read it, and it allows them to just kind of, because I know for me, if I read a big paragraph, I'm just going to skim through it. I'm just going to kind of see some keywords and put together what they're saying. So when it's broke up, I kind of actually read word for word because it's easier to read. So I think that was it, you guys, on this. But I can't believe September is ending. Like, this is end of month week. And it like, I just can't believe we're almost to Halloween. Like it's crazy to me. So this is end of month week. Do not count yourself out. Let me stop recording.